Welcome to another episode of Knowledge is Power, where we have expert here to share with you their expertise. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about business and social media. As we all know, that if we want a business online now, getting eyeballs to your messaging is very important. Who's better to talk with the social media queen, Candice here? Hi, Candice. So good to actually talk to you again today.
Hey Martha, yeah, it's really great to be here.
It's always wonderful talking to you. Please share us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I am a marketing specialist, but I play in the realm of social media and quite specifically organic social media. I've got a really unique background, which is psychology and media. I actually used to be a presenter for Channel 7, Channel 9, and I've worked for many of Australia's biggest radio stations as well as a presenter. So I play in the realm of marketing, which I would call applied behavioral marketing. So I use specific knowledge from psychology to adapt it into marketing, which ultimately gets people a better result and a faster result. So the way that I do marketing is different. It's very different to what most people do. And I also started one of Australia's first done for you social media agencies. It was so ahead of its time that I actually stopped that business back around 2010 because I was spending more of my time telling business owners why it was valuable to be on social media. And as you're probably aware now, today, Martha, we've got an issue of there's so many people on social media. There's so many people doing what I do. My content's not getting seen. I'm not getting feedback. I'm finding it really hard to find clients or customers. So what I do is I teach people how to build a following fast and how to convert those followers into buyers.
I love that because I think a lot of us are getting that frustration of not being able to see, being seen. We feel like that we're spending so much time on planning our content, doing our video, learning how to use all the different social media technique, and we're still not getting result. And that frustrates a lot of us. And is it a common problem that you've seen around?
100%. Like this is it's actually really interesting. I'm of the opinion that any type of marketing or advertising, it should be measured and it should give you a return on investment. For example, if you were to hire a VA or a social media manager, and I see a lot of business owners complaining about this, which is why I'm using it as an example, they hire these people to do their social media expecting that there's going to be a result, but then there's not a result. Yet, if they were doing their own content, they probably wouldn't measure if there was a result at all. So what I see business owners do is they just kind of leave their social media and content creation as either something that doesn't have a lot of emphasis and strategy, or they're doing some kind of spray and pray system. It's like I'm just going to like put this content out there and I hope that something actually works and I hope that it gets seen. And then another thing that I see people do is just not show up enough. They get tired of it. So they've been putting content out and they can't see it actually getting a result. So they just kind of stop. And all of these things are really bad. So in my experience, it's actually very, very easy to grow a business and a brand through social media and specifically through organic social media. So this is no paid ads. This is just your everyday posts. Very easy to do it. But there's a couple of key elements that people are missing. And those are the things that I wanted to share with you today to help everybody get a better result from their social media. Because once you see it can work for you, you're going to be so much more motivated to actually get in and start creating content because you'll realize that every piece of content you create can make you money.
Yes, I completely agree with you on that. Especially like in my view, I'm in the coaching space, and I find that being consistent it is hard. And I sort of train myself to the point that I see something, then I can blurt out a story about it and then promoting it that way. But I think having that lack of clarity of what they are doing, what they're trying to be seen, how do they relate everything to their branding? It is one of the things that a lot of business owners struggle with.
Yeah, and people want results. I mean, if you were going to a personal trainer and you were doing all these horrible things that we hate doing when you haven't exercised for a while, like crunches and like just moving, it can be really frustrating. But if you were doing that for a period of time and you weren't getting any results, so you
Mm,
weren't having those physical feelings of change, you weren't seeing those physical feelings of change, it would be hard to continue up that process, right? For 3 to 6 months. So
yes.
ideally, you want to be making a few. I'm going to show you some hacks today. I think it's pretty fair. I know that you've got a really smart audience here, Martha. I think to expect that I could teach everybody how to completely fix their social media in like the next 50 minutes is unrealistic.
Yeah.
What I am going to show you is a couple of hacks and a couple of formulas I've come up with that I know can get people results, so that once you see those results, it can be the motivating force behind wanting to actually be consistent and do this better.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that a lot of us don't mind the hard work. Most of the confusion comes in, what are we really doing? What are we really presenting? Like, is posting a picture of my cat actually works? Or is this posting like, posting other stuff that I think is not relevant, but is actually getting a lot more eyeballs than I expected. And I think understanding but that will help us dramatically into improving our social media presence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is so much that comes to like behind the scenes of good content, and there is so much to do with branding. I actually was just in my mastermind before this. I did a
Yeah,
3 hour session today on branding and messaging, and it was
yeah,
super powerful, but like there is more to it. So, I mean, there is an invitation there. Like I'm not here to sell, but if you do want more support, I just want you to know that it's not you're not going to get it all in the next 45 minutes.
yeah.
Actually building your online presence and your brand, it's a process that needs consistency and it needs
Mm,
time. And you need to have an element of being embodied in your work
yes.
so that your message really comes through. And when I say embodied in your work, I mean that if you're telling other people to do something or buy something, that you also use that or you also do that,
Mm,
you also believe in it. Like that can really help with getting a message across, because there's a lot of what we do here that's also about frequency. Like
mm,
your brand and your content has a vibe. So if you're just whacking stuff together for the sake of it because I got to post today, I haven't posted all week, it's probably not going to do very well.
mm,
But if you know what your key messaging is, which I'm going to help everybody determine today, you can then create content from a place that's more grounded, it's more centered, it's got a good vibe coming through. Like people can really feel you in it, especially for the coaches out there. People can feel you in it and then they feel more connected to you. And this is how you create a really great buying audience.
that's it. I think so because it is really really hard just to find the right way to actually run your business. It's never easy. So I'm glad that you're here today to talk to us about it.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I mean, I've been a business owner for 23 years, and if you've got an Australian audience here, I'm sure some people remember the Yellow Pages, but that was the main form of advertising that you did. If you weren't in the Yellow Pages, you were kind of screwed for the year because it's like, how are people going to find about you? Referrals, yes. Maybe flyer drops, like letterbox drops, bit of
Mm,
newspaper advertising, TV, radio. These were kind of our options. And with
mm,
all of those types of advertising, they were done for you. You didn't have
mm,
to produce your own TV ad or write your own ad copy. So, what we're seeing now is a lot of people having to create their own advertising and content that don't have any experience in it.
yeah.
And the good news of that is that there's not a lot of competition out there. So if
Mm,
you all take what I'm going to teach you today and adopt this into your business, you're going to be like 1,000% further than anybody else who doesn't have this knowledge. Does that make sense to you, Martha?
I am
Not talk.
excited to hear about it because I think our audience is looking forward to see that as well. So
Yeah.
let's actually let give you the space now and actually share for it. So I'll leave the door to you. I'll be managing the chat. If anyone who's watching this live or playing the watching the replay got any comments, feel free to drop it into the comment there. I'll pass them on to Candice to actually answer your question. But for now, I'll leave the stage to you. Thank you, Candice.
You're welcome, Martha. So one of the things that I asked Martha a couple of days ago is if I could teach one thing that seemed to be a common problem for so many, what would that be? And she did mention about getting more eyeballs on your content. You're not, people aren't getting enough views, they're not getting a lot of engagement. And if those things aren't happening, I'm assuming you're not making a lot of sales through your social media as well. So I'm going to teach you a bit of a, should I call it a hack? It's a strategy. It's a formula for reels that I've come up with that I know works because I've used it multiple times in different businesses that I have. I've had a lot of clients use it across different businesses and different niches. And it doesn't matter whether you are service or product based, this actually works. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me just figure out how to do that because I'm coming through someone else's feed. Okay, so I've got a document here, which I'm so happy to share for free. If anyone wants this, please, I think there's, you can comment under this live video and I will get in touch with you and I'll send this document your way. So 148 tested hooks. Now, I know that these hooks get results because I have used them and a lot of my clients have used them as well. A hook is one of the easiest ways to hook somebody in to your content. And when you're thinking about content, I want you to think about it in the way of how you consume content. So often the way that people consume content these days is when they're doing something else. So they're watching TV, they might be in a conversation with someone, the kids might be on the lounge, husband, partner, wife might be on the lounge, and they're kind of busy, they're kind of distracted. So there's a couple of different ways that you can hook people in, and one of them is with the writing that's on the screen. You can also have a visual hook, which is maybe something that looks a little bit unusual or different, or you're sort of in the middle of something action based, or you're on the edge of a cliff, or just something that's like a little bit like, oh my God, what's happening there? And you can use audio hooks as well, which is things like trending songs or a trending sound. But those, the visual and the audio are not as popular as the written hook because more than 83% of people view content while they are on mute. Okay, so you can't actually hear anything. These hooks are plug and play style hooks. Okay, so there's wording that I've created, and then you put your wording in around whatever your product or service is. This is one of the easiest ways to grab attention. The type of reel that is going to get you a result, and if you post consistently, will get you the viral result of 1 million+ views, is the type where it's usually up to 15 seconds max. 7 seconds actually works really well. And you don't have to be talking to camera. You don't necessarily have to be doing anything. It could be a faceless reel. It could be you walking, filming like a coffee cup takeaway that you've gotten for the day. It could be filming a view. It can be absolutely anything. It could be your products, your packaging orders, but put that together with one of these hooks over the main body of writing that people see when you actually are in the newsfeed, and then a brief description with a call to action. This is it. This is the Reels formula that has been working for well over 12 months now, probably more like 2 to 3 years. There's a reason why it works. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel when we're looking at what kind of content is going to get a better result. We just need to have a look at what's working, and this is what's working. So if you want this, please comment below. And as I said, I'll get in touch and I'll get this your way. There are so many hooks here. If you are stuck for content ideas, these hooks are amazing. You don't even have to think about what am I going to post anymore. Just come in here and I promise you, like I can actually promise this, you will be inspired by one of these hooks, because all of us as business owners, at the forefront of our mind, we've got our business. We've got the products and services that we're wanting to sell. So you're going to read through these hooks, and what's going to happen is the words are going to come, and then you've got your content. This is the easiest way to do it. And I'm going to show you next how you can take one of these hooks and then expand it into a week's worth of content. And it starts to get really easy. So I've got all of the hooks, and then I've got an explanation here of the 3 types of hooks. Just comment me below, or I want this, or hooks document. Just comment something so that I know that you are actually wanting this. And as I said, I'll get it your way. That is how we get a viral piece of content. The actual description of your content, so not what's written on the screen, but the body of copy that sits underneath, especially if we're talking about something like Instagram, it just needs to be simple. It doesn't need to be extensive. It can be that you're teaching somebody something. You could reuse your hook as your first line. And the call to action, make sure that every single one of your posts, and I'm talking about reels because reels, they are the best form of content that you can create, especially on Instagram, that is going to get you a result. They are favored by the algorithm. The algorithm pushes out reels more than it does carousels or still photos. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. LinkedIn has now recently announced a version of, they're going to have short form video content, which is like reels. YouTube Shorts came out a little while, probably years ago now, where you can put, it's not long form video content, it's short form. And Meta also announced just recently that they're still favoring short form content. Okay, so up to 15 seconds of video in a reel, and then brief description with a call to action. And the call to action could be something as simple as double tap if you agree, which is the heart. You know, give this a heart if you agree. Comment below if you agree. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. And it could also be something like follow me for motivation and inspiration. Follow me for weight loss tips. Follow me for recipes. Follow me for money saving tips. Whatever it is that you do, telling people to follow you will actually change. It sounds insane and ridiculous, but it will change the amount of follows that you get. And on average, if you can start getting reels of 1 million views, you'll collect at least 1,000 followers. Typically, if the rest of your account is set up well, about 1,000 new followers for every 1 million views. That has been my experience and the experience of my clients as well. So once you start to nail the content that you think people are wanting, and I would recommend going through here and just testing things over and over until you find the thing that really goes off. Once you start nailing that, this all starts to happen really fast and it snowballs really fast. You can grow an account really fast. The more followers you have, the more buyers you're going to have. And that actually does take a little bit of strategy. You could probably wing it and work your way through it. If you're getting lots of views and lots of followers and lots of engagement in your content, you're probably naturally going to make sales. Though if you are wanting more support with that, please let me know, because it is usually having a pipeline set up, a sales pipeline that makes it really easy for people to buy. You ultimately need to be selling products or services that resonate with the content that you're putting out there. I'm going to show you how to turn this into a week's worth of content. Just bringing up my iPad. Some of you may have already, Martha and I have taught this in this community before, so you may have gone through this. Consider this a revision if not. Otherwise, this is one of the most potent and powerful things that I teach. This is what I always get asked to teach because it's a game changer when it comes to creating content and getting a great result. It's called the home run content matrix. There needs to be a balance of content coming through on your pages to inspire people to want to take action and buy. And as I go through this, you're probably going to go, oh, this is something that I do regularly. I can assure you, if you're not getting good results or consistent results with your social media in your business, there'll be at least one of these sections of the matrix that you're probably either not doing or that could have some refinement and fine tuning. The first thing that we want to do in your content creation is to have connection-based content. Now, the way that we create connection content is through sharing your character. if you are not forward facing in your business and you may just have a brand or a product or service that doesn't necessarily involve you as a person, or you're managing someone else's account, it will be the business or the product or service that you need to develop a character for. The way that I like to teach character typically is to think of one of the famous long-running shows. It could be Friends, it could be Seinfeld. And when you think about that show, what are the characters in that show that you think of? Because this is very intentionally done. These shows are written in a way that the writers, the producers, they want you to connect to the characters so that you keep coming back for more. It creates psychologically an element of safety and certainty. And all of your favorite reality shows also do and have this. So when you think about, I haven't watched mainstream TV for a while, but Married at First Sight, Farmer Wants a Wife, all like the cooking shows, the producers for these shows are casting characters. And that's why these shows always have some level of drama. There's always going to be someone that you hate, someone that's polarizing, somebody that's stirring the pot all the time. And then there's going to be the feel-good ones that you love, like especially the Australian shows. It's like, oh, the good Aussie bloke or the down-to-earth chick. Okay, so these are all characters, and you need to find in your business what is elements of your character for your service or your product that you can convey to the wider community, so that when people think about that, they think of you and this element of your character. The other way that we create connection is by literally sharing your day. Now, sharing your day can be the behind the scenes of your life. It can be the behind the scenes of your business. As I mentioned before, it can literally be packaging up your products ready to send out for the day. It could be how you get ready to jump on a day of Zoom meetings, or if you're on the road in a mobile business, like what actually is happening behind your day? How are you preparing yourself? The third way we share connection content is through your work. So this is more about every superhero has a lair. Okay, so this is about your team. It's about your lair, your office. Like, where do you do the main parts of your work? If you like to go down to the beach, if you are out in nature a lot, like these are all elements that make up your lair and where you hang out for the day. It's behind the scenes snippets as well. When it comes to connection content, if you are doing this too much, you can be seen as a vlogger, and vloggers aren't really respected. Some vloggers have created a really great life and business for themselves doing brand deals and like user-generated content, influencer style work, but it's not necessarily that a lot of them are selling their own products and services. Some do, but this is a very competitive industry. So typically vloggers are not respected, and we want you to be respected because respected people can actually sell goods. They're trusted. And if you're not doing it enough, then how are people going to like you? How are people actually going to get to know you, your brand, whatever it is that you're selling? The second piece of the home run content matrix is all about value. You want to share value. It's your responsibility as the owner, the creator of your business, to share the value. And the 3 ways that we do that is what you do. So you could teach value about what it is that you do. There's a reason why you all do what you do. There's more than likely a problem that your services and product solve, or you've got something which helps people get to where they want to go. Okay, so that's a towards motivator. You're either helping solve problems, which is like, get me away from that, I don't want to have that problem anymore, or you're helping people move towards something. So what is it that you do? What do you sell? And I'm not saying what do you sell in regards that we're going to be selling it here. That's a whole other section. But if you're selling, for example, like Martha sells confidence coaching and confidence work, it's going to be her value is going to be sharing about confidence. It's going to be tips for confidence. It's going to be her story on her journey to confidence. Another way that we share value is the why is this important? Why is what you're doing and offering the world important? And then there is also the how. So we don't want to teach people the how of like everything. We don't want to give them everything. There's got to be a paywall where at some point you're running a business, you're not running a hobby or a charity, but you want to give them some information about how. There might be 10 steps in your process of generating wealth or fixing health or whatever it is that you do, but you might share 2 in your public facing content. Now, if we're helping people all the time, we will be seen as a teacher, and teachers are not paid enough. They're not. Ask any teacher. They'll tell you they're not paid enough. But if you're not doing it enough, then people are not going to be clear on how you can help them. So there needs to be a balance. The last piece is we want to give invitations. So this is the sales piece. And this is what I see a lot of businesses doing at a higher frequency than anything else. Some businesses only do this. So we need to remember that this is called social media. It's not sales media. So we want to be creating a social element to our content, to our communities that we're creating online for our followers, not just like feeling like an ad where everything we do is a sale. You're going to burn people really fast if you do this. If you are selling too much, as I was just saying, you're going to be seen as a spammer, and people are just not going to be interested. They're not going to want to follow you. Probably going to get a lot of unfollowers. If you don't do it enough, then people have no idea where to start or what to actually do with you. The way that we give invitation is through lead magnets. If you haven't heard of a lead magnet, it's a way of getting people in through your door. For example, I just offered you all my document, 148 hooks. Actually, super valuable. It's such a valuable document. I have had well over 1,000 people download that document, and I only created it maybe 6 weeks ago. That's a lead magnet, okay? It's a way of getting somebody into your business to potentially start a conversation to see if there's something more there that you can help them with or something more that they want. Lead magnets can be free, they can be low ticket, they can be samples, okay? You go into Maya, there's a whole bunch of samples for perfume, makeup, creams, anything you want. This is why. The falafel shop in Byron Bay catches me out. They're walking around the corner of the streets with their orgasmic falafels. That's what they're called. Makes you want to go down to the falafel shop. All types of businesses have lead magnets. They're a really smart way of getting people to come in, have a little bit of a taste and go, actually, I like that. I want to invest some more. Another way that we can give invitation is through running events. Now, these can be in-person events. It can be events like this, like what Martha is running here online. It can be like a VIP experience. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do with events. And then the third one is to actually partner with you. So this is like become a client, become a customer, buy work with us. The fourth part of your content balance for making sure that you're building a buying audience is to make sure that you have proof of concept. You're sharing proof, okay? This is people that have had a result or an experience with your service or product. The best ways to share proof in this modern world is through screenshots there are all sorts of features. If, for example, you're getting Google reviews or Facebook page reviews, there are ways of embedding this into websites. So it's the real-time review coming through, which is much more credible than like just popping some wording on there. But when you are running business a lot through social media, you will have people DMing you. Okay, you will have people leaving feedback on your page. Sometimes I have proof through comments. People, like past clients of mine, like love what I've taught them, and they go into other groups, other business groups, and when anybody's talking about a social media problem, they're like, you need to contact Candice. And they'll write amazing things about me. I screenshot that. Okay, I haven't specifically asked for this testimonial information, but it's proof that what I do works. Another way to share proof is through case studies. Now, this can be a longer form of written content or a video piece where you might be interviewing the person who you've helped or just talking about it. And it's pretty much a story of where they were before they started with your service or product, where they are now, what happened in between to get them to where they are now, and who they would recommend this for. Really simple. And it's actually a really nice reflection as a business owner to map out those case studies sometimes, because proof of concept doesn't just work for your audience. Sometimes it's really nice to just, there's hard days in business, right? There are elements of self-doubt that come up. New level, new devil is one of my favorite sayings. It doesn't matter where you're at times you might feel a little bit like, do I know enough? Am I enough? All of those things come up, and going through a case study of somebody that you've helped transform something is a really beautiful way of proving the concept back to yourself. The last one is through testimonials. And this is straight up asking people to give you feedback, to write something specifically about you and the experience that they've had with you. If you do proof too much, you're going to be seen as a bragger, and it's going to be quite annoying for people. If you don't do proof enough, people are not going to know if it's going to work for them. One of the greatest issues I can see that is like a resistance to people buying at the moment, this is happening across all industries, is the question, will this work for me? People are being a little bit more discerning with their money in some industries and some areas. It's not something that my husband and I have experienced in our business. We've got a very, very fine-tuned content strategy. So we're only calling in qualified people. We're only getting on sales calls with qualified people, and they're businesses that have got money to invest, because we are business to business, not so much business to consumer. But if you're business to consumer, I have heard that people are, even business to business, some people are being more discerning with their money. And markets like this really do separate the milk and the cream, so to speak. So this is such a good opportunity for you to fine tune your own processes. And it's not that just posting one post every week or every 2 weeks is going to work for us anymore. Like, we actually have to have some consistency. We have to be showing up with integrity. And this balance of content, which I've just shared with you now, is what I've seen create a buying audience. And it can also shift an existing audience into a buying audience, because if you've had one of these pieces, one of these elements missing from your content forever or for a period of time, it's part of the reason why your content's not working for you. I'm just going to stop that share. I would love to know if there's questions, but Martha, I'm wondering if Martha's there. Can you let me know if there's any questions that that I should answer at this point? I'm not used to just talking to myself.
Yeah, no. You actually have a quite a good audience here today. A few of the lady have asked about how can they get your leads there, and if we can actually have a screenshot of what you've written. I try to take a photo on my phone as well, and if we can share that, that would be really good, because it is so true. I think that a lot of us in business, we have that misunderstanding that, oh, we have to give people what they want by recreating something instead of asking the right question, what do they really need to actually be able to satisfy that need?
Yes, yeah, it's something that I see as I was gonna say common mistake. I'm not really sure it's a mistake, but I see this as a common problem, is
Mm,
that business owners, I mean, we're so amazing. We're entrepreneurial, like we're visionary. We've got the ability to see a problem and want to create a solution. Okay,
mm,
or we've got the ability to see something that people want and go, oh, like maybe if I created this or to help people get there without doing enough market research.
mm,
So the market will be honest all the time. The
mm,
market is it's either something that they're interested in or it's something that they're not. It doesn't mean that if you haven't done market research, you can't be successful. It
mm,
means that you have to learn how to communicate. Like you need to find the market that exists for your thing. And then you're like, how do I marry that? How do I
mm,
marry that with my messaging? How do I get their interest?
mhm.
And the hooks document is amazing for gaining interest.
Yeah, that
My
is.
video stopped for some reason.
No, that's okay. No worries at that. I think that is very, very valuable advice onto it. I love the matrix that you put down to give people the clarity of what they're looking for. I don't see any questions so far in the chat there. What would be some of the common things that you have to answer about social media?
I just had to swap cameras, sorry.
That's okay.
You did you mention there was a question with leads? Something,
Leads, yeah, leads generation.
what was the question?
It says that, like, a lot of people have trouble finding leads. Like, they hear about it, that we can use all of the social media for leads, but I think a lot of them don't understand what is the leads looks like. So how do we differentiate on that?
Okay, yeah, there's so many ways to get leads from social media. So you can have a specific call to action, and you might have seen people do this in their content. It's like comment the word money to get my 12 money saving tips.
Mm,
So that's a very direct way that you can like tell a bit of a story about why you have the answer, I guess,
mm,
is the easiest way
mm,
to say it. It's like
mm.
maybe you've been in like a financial role for like 12 years or something like that.
Yes.
Maybe you've amassed a big amount of wealth. So people need to have the proof as
Yep.
to why. I'll bring back up this document, and then it's an opportunity for people to screenshot it as well.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you really want to be in your content pieces. Like if it's the same with anything. It could be weight loss. It could be what you're doing with confidence, Martha. Like,
Yep.
why should people listen to you?
Yes.
All of your content needs to answer the so what piece. It's like, okay, this is cool, but so what? What does that mean for me? If
Uh,
you can, in your content, you can share proof, you're either building connection through telling a little bit about your story. It's
mm,
like, hey, like today I'm a multi seven-figure business owner. It wasn't always like that for me.
yeah.
Here's the proof. Here's what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you a tiny bit of what I know about this today. And then I'm going to give you an invitation to download my 148 hooks. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yes, 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 yes,
So
it does.
if you're wanting to generate leads, you need to be super intentional in the content piece that you're working to get leads from.
Mm. Then how do we avoid being too much pushing for us, like action to call? What are the like ratio would you actually suggest us to do?
The reason I call that the home run content matrix is because that is a perfect balance of content for the week. So
Mm,
Meta has recently released some information that if you don't post for 3 days, your personal algorithm basically resets itself.
oh,
Okay. And what that means is if you've started to build up some credibility and I want you to all start seeing your social media like a store, like Woolworths or Coles.
mm,
And your content is the stock on the shelves of that store. A
mm,
lot of people say that the algorithm is working against me, like the algorithm stopping my stuff being seen. But the truth
Yeah,
is the algorithm was actually built in our favor. It's just that you're not giving it what it wants so it can work for you. You're
I
not
see.
giving it the type of content that is SEO optimized and super clear so that they can promote it to they need you, they need us creating content. Otherwise, social media would be like an ad funnel, because without us, the advertising dollars doesn't work for them. Like the people running ads on the platform, they can't just have a newsfeed full of ads. They
Yeah.
have to have like the show. We are the show. So give
Mm.
them a show. I'm going to show you before I go today how to SEO optimize your profile and your posts, but make it really clear for them and show up regularly, put stock on the shelves 3 to 4 times a week, and you'll get a much better result with your content.
Ah, I see, I see. Yes, I would love to have that. I also have one question. This happened to me personally, so I'm just doing a personal share. There was a post that I put out recently, and it's the first time ever that I got over 500 likes and over 22,000 view onto that post. It was something about like, being brave and criticism, and I have about 400 and something share on that. I don't know what happened. What did I do right? How do I get more of that if
What
I'm
what
actually looking at the
what
statistic?
Yeah, this is really great. Congratulations. It's fun going viral. What is the platform that you shared this on?
Oh, on Facebook, on my personal page.
Okay. Yeah, so because I actually follow you, Martha, so I know
Oh,
that you post consistently. So
yes.
posting consistently is actually part of the problem of getting the algorithm to work for you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
If you just did that post for the first time, or maybe you post once a month and you come out with that, it wouldn't have got as good of a result.
Mm,
But you have been showing up in your content more recently. I've noticed this,
yes.
speaking specifically about confidence. So for
Yes.
anybody watching this, whatever it is, the main thing that you do to help people, whether this is a service or product business, the main thing that you help people with, you need to be weaving that through your content as much as possible without sounding like an annoying, hey, I'm preaching this again. But the way that
Yeah.
you do it, Martha, is the way that it should be done. You weave it into stories. Okay, so
Mm,
you weave it into stories of how you run this community that
mm,
we're in. You weave it into stories of your partner. You weave it into
mm,
stories of your travel and like your own journey with confidence as well.
mm,
So it's not boring. Like it's something new and fresh every time. But the one thing that the main reason I know you would have got a result on that is because you're doing those two things. You post consistently, you're active online because you also go and like other people's posts and comment regularly.
mm,
So you are being rewarded by the algorithm. The way that social media was designed was for us to be social. You can't
mm.
just come and do a sales type post, or it's like, hey, I've got this thing. Even like you could have the most amazing thing in the world and it could be free. Like
Yeah.
most of my lead magnets, like literally, are worth thousands of dollars. No one would know that. And like I have to question myself sometimes, should I be giving this away for free? They are amazing, like amazing. And a lot of business owners do this. But if you're not being social, like if you're not consistently posting, categorizing your content with good SEO so the platform knows we should send more people to Martha who are interested in confidence. Like that's
Mm,
how it wants to work for you because you had been showing up regularly, stocking your supermarket shelves, and you had been being social and you had been talking about your topic for a while.
mm,
It instantly knew that when you put that out, all of these other accounts that like other posts like yours are going to like this post.
mm.
And that's when you feel the real power of like, oh my God, the algorithm is here to support me. I just hadn't been giving it what it needed to support me.
I see, I see.
That makes
I have to
sense.
give the credit to you because I did do one of Candace reel challenges and story challenges.
Yeah, you
That
have
is
been
one of the
learning.
yeah, that is one of the reason that why you have seen me doing things a little bit differently because it opened my mind up. So I'm not aimlessly promoting or sharing. that is actually the truth. Like, so everything that we do has a purpose. I thought I was doing it, but I wasn't really doing
Yeah.
it. So I think that having that clarity of what we're sharing, that is the main thing. So credit to you, Candice. It is because I did go to your courses.
I'm going to take that as I'm circling my testimonial box. See, but this is true. Like often we can think that we're doing the right thing because
Mm,
you might have seen somebody else doing something similar and it worked for them, but it's not working for you. Or you just think you're doing the right thing. You think
yeah.
that by putting your offers out there, it's doing the right thing. But social media has got a very unique social element that it's kind of like you need to almost pretend you're in person, but you're not in person.
Yeah. It's really using it is similar the way that I find social media now. It's similar to actually talking to AI. How to actually use AI for to actually help your business. It's like that you're really talking like in a first person sense. That's how I feel. It's great that you can share other people's story, but people try to relate to you. And when you're trying to build a branding, it is talking about you and being okay and acceptable and to be vulnerable. That is one of the biggest things that I have learned in this journey of letting people know who I truly am and what I do, and things like that. And I think that will be the big difference. So going back to you about the SEO thing that you were talking about,
Yes.
please share with us because I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah.
Or for those of you who doesn't know who SEO is, please explain to those people too.
SEO stands for, as an acronym for search engine optimization. I'm just getting my Instagram account up on my computer
Mhm.
because my husband has stolen my cable to plug my phone in. And search engine optimization, it's almost like a categorizing type uh just let me just set this up. For some reason it's asking me for a code. I
Mhm.
don't normally use Instagram on the computer because it's actually kind of horrible to use it on the computer. Um,
Oh, that's the next thing I have to do. Instagram. Like Facebook is my first, and then Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to use all the platform.
they have a slightly different language. So what I
Ah,
usually recommend people do is just focus on one platform.
yeah.
Like and Instagram, look, I make a lot of money through Facebook, like heaps of money through Facebook, through my own posts, but also I'm at a level of business where people are referring me all the time.
Yes.
But Instagram is notoriously the better platform for making sales.
Ah,
Okay. It's just a completely like Facebook's like the dinner party and Instagram's like the nightclub. It's very
ah,
fast. It's like people take action. They're used to buying on Instagram. They're used to 44% of Gen Z actually use Instagram as a search engine rather than Google. And
mm,
so some of you might have noticed recently that AI is now being implemented into the search
yes.
feature of the platforms. That's why they're now basically taking on Google. They're kind of taking on everything and eating up everyone, aren't they? So
Yeah.
so Facebook's amazing and it's good for the longer form content that you really enjoy writing, Martha. So if
Yeah.
anybody else here watching enjoys longer form content, Facebook's amazing for that. Instagram's a bit more short, sharp, and fast. It's kind
I
of like
see. I
let's get
see.
to the point, like, you know, not as much storytelling, so to speak.
I see.
Um, And I think Facebook really suits your brand, and Instagram could as well.
Mm,
So let me bring up I'm going to talk to you about just briefly search engine optimization. It's a
yeah.
way for the platforms or the internet, because this works with websites as well, to categorize more of your content. So
Hmm.
to figure out what is the main element of this content and who should we put this in front of.
Uh-huh.
I'm just figuring out how to share my screen, Martha. Just one second.
No problem.
So when it comes to, I'm going to show Instagram in particular. Can you see that
Yep.
screen okay?
Yes.
This is an account that I don't use anymore, but this line here is search engine optimized. So
Ah,
if someone was searching on Google, but more specifically, if they're using the search function in the platform, everything that you put there is keyword optimized. So
ah.
it's really important to have words there that specifically relate to what you do or what you sell. And there's quite a few characters that you can have there. Like you can almost have that over 2 lines, but I would recommend word economy is amazing. No one is interested in us and our stuff as much as we think they are.
Mm.
I typically teach people, you would have learnt this in the last training that you did, Martha,
Yeah.
that the audience is interested in about a third of what you think they're interested in.
Mm.
If you're having troubles doing a 60-second reel, it probably should be 20 seconds.
Ah.
Okay. Short form content is, unless you're posting on YouTube and TikTok's bringing out a longer form content option as well, everything else is short form content.
Mm.
We're not trying to get people to marry us in this content. All we're trying to do is get their attention in the hope that they follow us so that they're going to see more.
Ah, I
And then
see.
this is where your lead magnet offers get people to see you a little bit more. Okay.
Ah.
The social media is the top of the funnel. It's like the big wide section. Like, let's just try and pull as many people in as we can. And like,
Mm.
let's try and convert a portion of those to followers. Let's try and convert a portion of those to people that might opt in for something with their email. Let's try and
Ah.
convert a portion of them to some sort of free event or low ticket event. Higher ticket sale, higher ticket sale. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense because I think a lot of us in the even like I can only talk about in my coaching industry that a lot of us tend to show people everything that we can do at once. And it's like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And it is so true that when we're targeting everyone, we're not targeting anything. And I think
Yeah,
yeah, one point that you actually say that, okay, take off your jacket, okay? Don't take out your bra yet. Like people don't like we don't have
exactly.
that relationship yet. So don't take off your bra yet. It doesn't interest them. So take off your jacket first and then a little bit at a time to build that momentum and the trust going. It is at the end of the day because there's so many of us out there and a lot of us just trying to actually be seen, being heard. And I think that having a better strategy and a better planning, that's what's going to make a huge difference.
People need to be exposed to you, your product, or your brand for at least 8 hours currently before they make a buying decision. The
Ah,
strategies that I teach collapse that time down to like an hour, 2 hours. And
ah,
these may or may not sound like big numbers for people, but when you're talking about 60 seconds of content, 20
mm.
seconds of content, like, can you imagine how many pieces of content people need to have in front of them before they actually remember who you are, let alone want to buy from you?
That is so true.
Like we're talking like probably 1,000 pieces of content. So the way that I teach the connection and the home run content matrix is part of that is it
Mm.
collapses the time because ultimately we want things to happen a little bit faster in business. We don't
Yeah,
want things to be dragging out and we don't want to have to put like literally 100 posts out there before someone goes, oh, that chick talks about confidence.
yeah.
Now, the other parts of like all of this is okay and great. Like all of this is the reason why someone would follow you.
Ah,
And there's a strategy for that as well that we don't have time to go into today. This is your lead magnet. And Facebook
ah.
and the other platforms are similar. Like there's a download there. Look, I don't use this account anymore. It's still reached 740. I think I posted on here maybe like 6 months ago as a demonstration to my audience. It's been about a year that I stopped using it. It's still reaching, my content is still reaching like that's insanely low for me. Like this used to be 6.5 million a month,
Oh,
but
wow.
like it's still having an impact.
Mm.
People, I had a comment on something last night. Someone still opted in for a challenge that I ran a year ago. Is the power of good content and having it really refined for your audience.
Mm.
The other ways that you SEO optimize your posts is by having very clear wording on the front of your reels or your posts. Okay? Very clear wording. This is for couples.
Yeah.
This is relationship advice from a couples therapist.
Mm.
Then you also want to make sure your hashtags, so many arguments about hashtags, whether you should use them, you shouldn't use them. You should absolutely use them. Let me
Uh-huh.
tell you a trick. Anything that the platform gives you, they're giving it to you as a tool to use.
Uh,
If hashtags were irrelevant, they would take it away.
yeah.
Find hashtags either through searching the search bar here, relationship, for searching what other people see more. So these are the things that people are searching for in the platform.
Ah,
Use these as hashtags. Go to
ah,
go to Google and oh, so I was in Google. I'm ahead of myself. Relationships or whatever your
yeah.
thing is. Now, this here, people also ask, this is what you want. What are the 4 types of
Ah,
relationships? So I would put good relationship as a hashtag,
yeah.
relationship problems as a hashtag,
Yeah.
important elements of a relationship. So use all of these things as hashtags, and this
Ah,
helps the platform categorize your content to put it in front of the people that are interested in what you're posting about.
I see. That's a really good way because it is true that a lot of the times we don't know what hashtag to use, and that's perfect.
Exactly. You can, as you're typing, I would start using keywords. Like a lot of these, like if you just start typing hashtag relationship, it'll show
Mm,
you what's kind of trending within the actual platform. But don't necessarily choose the stuff that's being used by 59 million people. Try and
yes.
choose the stuff that's being used by less people so that you've got more of a chance being shown.
Yes. That is so true. That is so true. That
So
is amazing.
yeah, I hope that that was really valuable. I know that we're at time, and if anyone's stuck here this whole time, thank you. It's been really great.
Oh, we just loving it. The comment you say, like, we're getting it, say, thank you for this is awesome. This is really a lot of clarity. So tell us, when is your next challenge coming? What other things that you have offered? Because I really enjoy what I learned from you last time. Please tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so I actually am working on a new program, and this is really interesting. Meta has done a doozy. They are massively restricting DMs.
Ah,
Okay, so
yes, yes.
and it's because people have been getting too much spam.
Yeah,
So for a long time, it's been super easy to make sales in the DMs. But
yes.
now, even if like people have to be either following you for you to be able to DM them,
Mm,
or even if you're friends or connected, if there's been no previous engagement or communication, you know how sometimes people just add people to be
yeah,
networking? If there's
yeah,
been no previous engagement, they're restricting you being able to message people. So this is
yes.
making business really, really hard for a lot of
Mm.
people. There's some people I know their revenue is halved with this
Oh,
change.
wow.
So I am in testing mode at the moment for figuring out new strategies around this. And in the next couple of weeks, Martha, so I don't actually have anything to sell today. But the next couple of weeks, I am going to have I do these challenges for $49, and it's a way
Yeah,
of learning some incredible social media skills. This is what Martha's been involved in.
yes.
Our former ones have been how to create high performing reels. So, how to like more context around creating reels that are going to work for you, and how to sell in stories as well. And
Yes.
some of the women in the selling, like you just said, you had a great
Yeah.
response with that. Um, some clients have been doing an extra 4.5K a month in their
Mm,
business just with this strategy. Those trainings are available to buy for $49. So
yes.
I do have something to sell. If you want that, let me know. Just what can they type in the chat box below so I know? Send me details.
Stories. Put down the word stories so
Yes, stories. Yeah,
Candace
yeah.
can actually
Comments,
send it to you.
comment stories below, and I'll send you a DM if it lets me
Yeah.
with the link that has all of the information that you can go and buy that.
Definitely, that will be good because I really got great value from the training last time, and it is because of that that it helps me to align. Like having an expert like you telling me that I'm finally doing the right thing. It was good because it was so funny. Even I've been running the group for about 6 months, 7 months now, and one day one of my mentor actually come to me and said that I asked the people that who I connected with, do they know who you are? They said no. Do they know what you do? I said, no. I'm like, damn. I thought that I was telling myself I'm posting like so much a day and people still don't know what I do. And I'm like, okay, that's a really good reflection. And with your help, it really makes a difference into helping us to actually realize that what we need to do to refine ourselves. Because I think the biggest difference that I have learned from you is that I finally realized that it is okay to link who I am with the belief that I have for my business. It's not about I'm being a car salesman. I need to sell a car a day. It's not about that. It's just about being true to what we are passionate in and what we really love and enjoy and share that. And when you can share that out, people then starting to realize that, hey, this could be an inspiration for them. And I think that is what is really good about our community, that everyone can learn from each other. This is the goal that I have. I say that, like, Candice is really good offering her courses for such a low price. So it is a good way to actually learn from her and start changing our life for the better, because we all wanted to get result from all the investment that we do. So pick something that works for you.
Yeah, that's so well said. And they are actually one of the things I get told about these programs is they're insanely cheap. Like I know the value is incredible and I wanted it to feel like that. So they're $49. They're my mastermind level trainings. Like I actually don't gatekeep information in there and hold things back, as you would know, Martha.
Yes.
They're the same things that I use, and they're the same things that I teach clients who are spending thousands of dollars a month to work with me privately. So
Yes.
if you want a taste of that, yeah, by all means, just let us know below. But the greatest thing about this is demystifying how annoying it can feel to not know what to do or to be doing things that aren't working. Like
Yeah.
that's why I put these out there, is because I saw so many women in particular struggling with this, and we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of women, like their mums as well, like running a house, running, looking after other humans.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have time to be figuring this shit out.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm completely with you on that. And a lot of us get overwhelmed. And but by having that clarity, you're not trying to sell ice cream at a butcher place. That's
Yeah.
what I always say, that like, people go to a butcher to buy meat. They don't go and buy ice cream. But you keep selling ice cream to people, they won't buy it. And you wonder why your business is not successful, because you're not giving people what they want and you don't realize it. But we're stuck in that mindset. And by listening to you today, I hope that it will inspire a lot of us to realize that it is okay to make a mistake. It is okay because it is a journey to learn. And it is okay to go and invest on ourselves again and learn again.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. Yeah, I really hope that this has been valuable.
Oh,
And
it is.
yeah, if you want the hooks document as well, make sure you write hooks document below.
Yes, there's a few people, so I need to ask you for that information later. And we got someone here saying story as well, so that's amazing.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. Well, lovely ladies, have an amazing Thursday afternoon. I'm out.
Definitely. Thank you to everyone for watching this and listening to our podcast. Thank you for your time, Candice. We have learned so much, and we look forward to seeing you again in our platform anytime.
That sounds amazing. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye for now. I'll talk to you all again on next week's Knowledge is Power.